great ball.
I guess going to the league, you guys have been on a bit of a hot streak, and then you took about a week off, and now you're playing a bit of a kind of a friendly type thing going on today. I guess how important is it for you guys to keep the momentum going, and then what's it like trying to get back into the swing of things and play after kind of a
like you said, we're on a hot streak and we're playing well. We just got to keep that going. I think the days off kind of gave us that refresher. We're even ready to go. We have more comeback fire, and we just keep doing what we're doing. And today was just like a practice. So we'll get back to work tomorrow.
A little bit of a different game than say playing against Richmond or anybody like that. But who kind of stood out for you guys today in your opinion?
I think they all did good. I think Nanko did well coming off the bench. Joseph, I thought Amoy even came on. I mean, he's been injured as well, and he did well when he was in. I think it was just overall good practice for us all, especially coming off of a couple days off.
Anything you guys looking to stop in Richmond or try to maybe assert yourselves in some way or
just
another?
keep doing what we're doing. I think we're playing well, so keep going.
It's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yep.
gentlemen,
trust the process.
What did you think of Newtown for an amateur show?
They're really good. They have some great athletes, and they can also keep the ball really well. Whenever we gave the ball up in transition, they were extremely dangerous. You could tell that these guys have played before and they can punish you like they did on us. And it could have been more, but they're a good team.
How did you feel about being a center back?
I played a couple games center back in college, but I'm a little undersized, so that can be a little tough sometimes. But it felt good, We had the ball a lot, so it wasn't as difficult. And playing next to Hugh he makes everything easier. Just always talking to me and make my job easy.
This evening by Mr.
Thoughts on you got Chris Shakes in that behind you, and then just kind of the bit of a weird schedule you guys had last week and a half or so.
Yeah, Shakes is he's great. He trains us all the time, and he's a great goalie, and he's got a great future ahead of him. And second part of the question. Yeah.
Thank you.
What was it? Oh yeah, so the weird schedule.
Yeah.
We had a couple games in a short period of time there, and they gave us a couple days off, so it was nice to get a break from it and then come back and refocus. And we got a big game against Richmond coming up, and we got to take care of business, so I think it'll be good.
Charlie, just talk about your experience getting to play in a charity game, and the result on the field is not the main thing; it's the bigger stuff on the field.
Yeah, I think. The coach of Newtown FC said it perfectly. It's good things can't come from bad things, and I think this was a perfect example of that today. And 4 teams coming together and making an event like this. First thing I've been a part of like this, and it is weird because you want to win every game you play in, but then when you sit back and think about what we're playing for and why this is put on, it's a good cause, and at the end of the day, it's just a way for us to do what we do and to get back to the community somehow.
Thanks, Charlie.
Well, what did you think of Newtown FC?
I think it's a great organization. It's a great cause. For us specifically, our focus was trying to get our legs prepared for the weekend because we do have a big game this weekend against Richmond. But yeah, I think it's a great thing what they're doing. They travel from city to city, trying to raise support and raise awareness for the tragedy that happened in Newtown. And hopefully, the more they go around from place to place, the more awareness can be raised. So more people can, support the cause. I think it's really good.
How did you feel about playing center back? I don't think I've ever seen you play center back before.
Usually I don't play center back. I've actually played center back a couple of times through the youth national team systems when I was like U14, U15. Okay. But I'm up to play wherever coach wants me to play. Wherever he puts me, I'm going to play the hardest I can. Whether it's center back, whether it's left back, whether it's goalkeeper, I don't know, wherever it is. But I'm just happy to play, no matter where it is.
It's interesting to watch.
Looking ahead to Richmond, you guys have been pretty hot in June. What's the kind of keys to keeping that going in July, especially against the Richmond? If I'm about to die, please save me.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
If I'm about to die, please save me. No, but just your thoughts on Richmond. I'm so scared. If your thoughts on Richmond coming up this weekend.
You know, I think a key to success in winning these games is the work we put in during our training week. You know, we've put together a good stretch of wins over the last month and a half, maybe I'd say. You know, a big part of that is the way we've been playing in training. We've been playing really hard in training. We've been focusing on the fundamentals of the game. And you know, I said it in the interview earlier in the month, Coach really wants us to win our duels. And most of the time when we accomplish that, the game, we win it. So in training, we focus on that. We focus on, you know, keeping the ball, playing the way we want to play. And you know, if all those things come together in the games that we play, most of the time we come out on top. The system we play is really well. So.
Anything else, guys?
No, I'm good. The coach on Monday, Brendan Burke, said the most important thing for today was, when I asked him how he was going to coach it, carefully.
Yeah.
Did you survive without?
Yeah, there were no injuries or anything like that. We rested a few guys that we didn't need to put into harm's way at that point. I thought the boys executed quite well. You know, I think, you know, just like any game, you got to finish your chances. I think we had a lot of chances in the first 25 minutes, and we didn't win the game. But really, that's not what's important today. Like Brendan said, it was about getting out of the game, not hurt, but also putting on a show for the fans. That's what I expressed to the guys in the tent before the game, was that make sure that you put on a show and move the ball around quite well. And what I said to him afterwards as well is that this year's edition of the Bethlehem Steel can move the ball around and put on a show a little bit. You know, we may not have scored goals, but I think at times the soccer we played was quite good.
I guess just kind of on a larger scale, you know, how important is something like this for Newtown and just the cause and, you know, that organization as well?
Sure. I mean, the community, I don't think any of us can imagine what the community's been through. My cousin actually had 2 kids at Sandy Hook in 2nd grade at the time. And, you know, I don't think anybody can imagine what that community's been through and what they have to continue to go through. I think oftentimes in this country we see a tragedy and we donate right away. It's not the day of the tragedy or the week of the tragedy or right after the tragedy. It's a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later. How a community is affected in these situations is important, and to continue to rally around them and not sort of forget about those who were left behind. I mean, those first responders, what they saw that day, you know, to try to even put into words, it's unimaginable.
What did you think of Newtown as a soccer side?
Yeah, good. We knew a couple of the players before, well, not beforehand, but when they showed up, you know, a couple of familiar faces. So they're a good little team. You know, they're dangerous, and they represent the community quite well, to be honest with you. I thought it was a really cleanly played game and a competitive game, and you know, they're well organized.
Anything you're looking forward to or looking out for from Richmond this weekend moving forward in League Play?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, obviously it's a good test of, you know, a standalone team is a different test than a 2 team. You know, Richmond has a storied history, and, you know, we've got a couple players with a history with them as well, so I think it's an important game for Hugh and for the coaching staff. I think it's a good barometer when you put ourselves up against a standalone team, and looking forward to seeing how the guys respond.
And then just, you know, maybe the last month or so in terms of you guys being on a bit of a hot streak, to sort of, you know, how that happened, what stands out, how you want to keep that going.
If I knew how it happened, we'd do it last year, right? No,
maybe just one during the final stretch there would have been nice.
Right, yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I think it's understanding the entire project as a whole. I think we're executing the project quite well now. You know, there's guys that are coming down, you know, that understand that there is a pathway. You know, Jonesy's done it. You know, Josh Arrow did it at the start of the year. Fabian Herbers did it at the start of last year. I think when you're no longer dealing in hypotheticals and actual dealing with actuality, you were okay. You know, I think those guys understand that if they work hard, they're going to pop through, and then the results are going to happen. I mean, I think the structure of play we're playing this year and the way we're playing this year has helped us be successful.
Do you have any comment on how Yildiz well played today?
Look, you scored a goal. Anytime you're playing in that attacking third and you score a goal, that's an important thing. You know, I think his use of the ball probably could have been a little bit better today. You know, we won't have off the stats today, so we won't know what his passing completion is. You know, I wouldn't say it was probably very high today, but when you're in that attacking line and you score, that's the most important thing. You know, so he played effectively.
Thanks, Coach.